I was not supposed to die that day. At least, that's what I believed. It started like any other morning. Quiet, ordinary, the kind of morning you forget even while living it. I remember standing near the kitchen window, holding a cup of tea. The sunlight was soft, warm. It touched my face gently, like it always did. I didn't know that would be the last time I felt it. There was a strange heaviness in my chest. Not pain, not exactly. Just a pressure, like something inside me was slowly closing. I ignored it. We all ignore small things, don't we? Maybe you have felt this too. That moment when your body whispers something is wrong, but your mind says it's nothing. I took a deep breath, then another, and then everything changed. My fingers loosened, the cup slipped from my hand. I heard it shatter on the floor, but somehow the sound felt far away, like it belonged to another world. My knees gave up, and I fell. I remember hitting the ground, but I did not feel the pain. That was the first strange thing. There should have been pain, but there was only silence. A deep, heavy silence. And then, something even stranger happened. I felt light. Not emotionally, physically light, as if my body was no longer holding me down. At first, I thought I was fainting, maybe passing out, but this was different, because I was still aware. I could still think, I could still see, but not in the way you are thinking. It's hard to explain, but I will try. I opened my eyes, or at least I thought I did, and I was no longer on the floor. I was above it, floating, gently, slowly rising. And then I saw her, a woman lying on the ground, still, unmoving. For a moment, I didn't understand. I just stared. There was something familiar about her, the way her hair spread across the floor, the way her hand was slightly curled, the way her face looked, peaceful but empty. And then it hit me. That was me. That was my body. I cannot explain the shock of that moment. It was not like fear, not panic, just confusion. Deep, quiet confusion. How is that possible? I remember thinking. I'm here, so who is that? Maybe you think you would scream. Maybe you think you would panic. But no. When death comes, it doesn't always arrive with chaos. Sometimes it comes with stillness. I tried to move, and I did, but not like before. There was no weight, no effort. I simply drifted, like a feather in the air. I moved closer to my body, closer and closer, until I was right above it, looking down at my own face. I noticed things I had never seen before. Small lines on my skin, the softness of my expression, the way my lips were slightly open. It looked so fragile, so empty. I remember thinking, is this what I really looked like? Strange, isn't it? In that moment, I wasn't thinking about death. I was thinking about how quiet my face looked. Then suddenly, I heard a voice. Call someone, hurry! It was distant but real. I turned, and I saw my daughter. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. She was shaking my body, crying, Mom, please, wake up. Her voice broke something inside me. I wanted to answer. I wanted to tell her, I'm here, I'm okay. But I couldn't. No sound came out, no matter how hard I tried. I reached for her, or at least I thought I did, but my hand passed through her, like she was made of air, or maybe I was. That was the moment I realized something was terribly wrong. A deep feeling started to grow inside me. Not fear, not yet, but something close to it, a realization. I am not in my body anymore. The room felt different, not darker, not brighter, just distant, like I was no longer part of it. Time felt strange too, slower, but also faster, like everything was happening at once, and yet nothing was moving. I watched as more people came into the room. Voices, footsteps, panic. Someone called for help, someone cried, but all of it felt far away, like I was watching a scene, not living it. And then something changed. The air around me shifted. I felt it before I saw it. A presence, soft, calm, not human, but not frightening either. I turned slowly, and behind me, there was something. Not a person, not exactly, but something made of light. It didn't speak, not with words, but I could feel it, a quiet message forming inside me. You don't belong there anymore. I looked back at my body, at my daughter, at the life I knew, and for the first time, a question formed in my mind. If I'm not there, then where am I going? The light grew slightly brighter, and I felt something pulling me, gently, not forcing, just guiding. I hesitated. I didn't want to leave. Not like this, not without saying goodbye. But something inside me felt calm, strangely calm, like a part of me already knew this moment would come. Maybe you have wondered about this. What happens in the first moments after death? Let me tell you something most people don't say. You don't feel pain. You don't feel your body. You feel awareness, pure awareness, and a quiet choice to hold on or to let go. I looked one last time at my daughter, tears falling from her eyes, her hands still shaking my lifeless body, and I whispered, "I'm sorry," even though I knew she couldn't hear me. Then slowly I turned away, toward the light, and as I did, the room began to fade. Not disappear, just drift away, like a memory slipping from your hands. And that was the moment everything changed again. The moment I turned toward the light, I felt it. A gentle pull. Not strong, not forced, just inviting. Like someone holding out their hand, waiting for you to take it. Behind me, the room was fading. My daughter's cries, softer now, distant, like they belonged to another life. And maybe they did. I wanted to look back again, just one more time, but something inside me stopped me. Not fear, not pressure, just a quiet understanding. If you keep looking back, you won't be able to move forward. So I didn't turn. I let the light guide me, and slowly, the world I knew disappeared. I don't know how long I was moving. Time did not feel real anymore. There were no seconds, no minutes, only moments. Floating moments. The light around me grew warmer, softer. It didn't hurt my eyes. It didn't blind me. It felt alive, like it knew me, like it had always known me. Maybe you will find this strange, but I didn't feel alone. Even though there was no one I could clearly see, I felt accompanied, as if something was quietly walking beside me, watching, protecting, understanding. Then suddenly, everything stopped. The movement, the pull, even my thoughts slowed down, and I found myself standing, or at least it felt like standing, on something that didn't look like ground, but felt stable. Around me, there was no room, no walls, no sky, just an endless soft glow. Not white, not gold, something in between, something peaceful. I looked around slowly, expecting to see someone, anyone, but there was no one. Only silence. A deep, perfect silence. Not empty, not lonely, just complete. And then I felt it again, that presence, closer this time, stronger. I turned, and there it was, the light I had seen before, but now clearer. It didn't have a face, no eyes, no shape I could fully describe, and yet I felt like it was looking directly at me. Not at my body, not at my face, at me. At something deeper, something I never knew existed. I wanted to speak, to ask questions, so many questions. Am I dead? Is this the afterlife? What happens now? But before I could say anything, I heard a voice, not through my ears, inside me, calm, gentle, clear. Yes, you have left your body. The words did not echo, they simply appeared, like they had always been there. I didn't feel scared, I didn't feel shocked, I just accepted it. Maybe because deep down I already knew. I took a moment, or something that felt like a moment. Then I asked, "What is this place?" There was a pause. Not silence, but something like it. Then the voice returned. "This is not a place, it is a passage." A passage. The word stayed with me. "What do you mean?" I asked. And then, something incredible happened. I didn't just hear the answer, I saw it. Suddenly, images started to appear around me. Not like a dream, not like imagination, more real than anything I had ever seen. I saw my life, not all at once, but piece by piece. Moments, small moments, big moments, moments I had forgotten, moments I thought didn't matter, but they were all there. I saw myself as a young girl, running, laughing, free. I saw my mother's face, her smile, the way she used to look at me. I felt that love again, so pure, so deep. Then, the scenes changed. I saw moments of pain, arguments, words I wish I had never said, people I had hurt, even when I didn't mean to. And something strange happened. I didn't just see those moments, I felt them. Not my feelings, theirs. I felt the pain I caused, the sadness, the disappointment, and it hurt. Not physically, but deeply, like a quiet ache in my soul. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't, or maybe I didn't want to, because I understood something. This is truth. Not judgment, not punishment, just truth. I whispered softly, "I didn't realize." And the voice answered gently, "Most people don't." Then the scenes shifted again. I saw moments of kindness, small things, smiles, helping someone, being there when it mattered. And I felt those too, the warmth, the comfort, the impact I had on others, even when I thought it was nothing. Tears, or something like tears, filled me, because for the first time, I saw my life clearly, not how I remembered it, but how it truly was. Balanced, beautiful, imperfect, human. I asked quietly, "Is this judgment?" And the answer came, "No, this is understanding." Understanding. That word changed everything, because there was no anger, no punishment, only awareness. And in that awareness, there was growth. I stayed there, watching, feeling, learning. I don't know how long. Time didn't exist, only experience. Then slowly, the visions began to fade. The moments disappeared, one by one, until I was back in that soft, glowing space with the presence, waiting. I felt different now, lighter, not just in body, but inside, as if something heavy had been lifted. I looked at the light and I asked, "What happens now?" There was a pause, a deeper one this time, and then the voice spoke again. "Now you choose." The words surprised me. "Choose what?" I asked. And for the first time, the light changed. It became brighter, wider, and in front of me, two paths began to form. Not physical paths, but directions. One felt peaceful, still, like rest. The other felt unfinished, connected to something or someone. And deep inside me, I felt a pull, familiar, emotional, strong. And suddenly, an image flashed in my mind. My daughter, crying, calling my name, and my heart, if I still had one, ached. That was the moment I realized this was not the end, not yet. That image of my daughter stayed with me. It didn't fade like the others. It didn't soften. It remained strong, alive. I could still see her tears, hear her voice, feel her fear. And something inside me responded. A deep pull, stronger than anything I had felt before. I looked at the two paths again. One was calm, peaceful. It felt like rest, like everything would simply stop. No pain, no memories, just stillness. The other path, it felt different, heavy but meaningful, like unfinished words, unsaid goodbyes, a life still calling me back. I didn't need to think too long, because the moment I felt my daughter again, I already knew. I can't leave her like this. The words came out softly, but they were firm, certain. The light in front of me seemed to respond. It didn't stop me. It didn't push me. It simply waited, as if it already knew my choice. I took a step, or something that felt like a step, toward the second path. And the moment I did, everything changed again. The peaceful glow around me began to fade. Not suddenly, slowly, gently, like a dream ending. The warmth became cooler. The silence started to break. And then I heard it. A sound. Faint at first, but growing stronger. Voices, urgent, fast. "Clear!" A loud noise followed. A sharp force somewhere far away. And then again, "Clear!" My surroundings began to shift. The light stretched, twisted, as if I was being pulled through something. A tunnel maybe, or a space between worlds. I cannot describe it perfectly, but I can tell you this. It didn't feel scary. It felt fast, like being carried by something powerful, but controlled. The voices became clearer. "Come on, stay with us. Don't lose her." Her. They were talking about me, or my body. I felt a sudden resistance, like something was trying to push me back, while something else was pulling me forward. For a moment, I was stuck in between, not there, not here. And in that moment, I felt something strange, a choice again. Not as clear as before, not shown in paths, but felt deeply. If you go back, you will feel everything again. The pain, the weight, the emotions, the limitations of a body. And if you don't, there was no need to finish that thought. I already knew. Peace, stillness, an end. Maybe you have wondered, if you were given the choice, would you come back or would you let go? It's not an easy question, not when you feel both sides. I hesitated, just for a moment, because the peace I felt before, it was beautiful, pure, free from everything. But then I heard her again. "Mom, please." That voice, it broke through everything, every doubt, every hesitation. And in that instant, I chose. I'm coming back. The pull became stronger, faster, heavier. The light disappeared completely, and suddenly, darkness. Not peaceful this time, tight, close, like being inside something. And then pain, sharp, sudden, overwhelming. My chest felt like it exploded. Air rushed into my lungs like fire. My body jerked, hard, and I gasped, loud, desperate, like I had been drowning and finally reached the surface. Voices around me. "She's back! Pulse is returning! Stay with us!" Everything was blurry, heavy, slow. My eyes struggled to open. My body felt unfamiliar, tight, restricted. After being so light, this felt unbearable. I tried to move, but even that felt like lifting something incredibly heavy. Then slowly, my vision cleared, and the first thing I saw was her, my daughter, her face full of tears. But this time, there was something else, hope. "Mom," she whispered, and I couldn't speak, not yet, but inside, I felt something deep, something I had never felt before. Gratitude, not just for being alive, but for understanding, because I had seen something, felt something, that most people never do. The room was loud, machines, voices, movement, but inside me, there was a quiet calm, very different from before. Not empty, not confused, but aware, deeply aware. I knew, without anyone telling me. I was gone, and I came back. Days passed, or maybe weeks. Time felt different after that, slower, more noticeable. Every breath, every moment, every small thing mattered more. People would ask me, "What did you see? What happened?" And I would smile, because how do you explain something that words cannot fully hold? But I tried, in small ways, simple words, careful sentences, because I didn't want to sound crazy. I just wanted to share the truth, a truth I had felt, not imagined, not dreamed, experienced. And the biggest truth of all came quietly, not in the hospital, not in the moment I woke up, but later, when everything was still, when I was alone, thinking, remembering, feeling, I realized something that changed me completely. Death is not the end. It is a transition, a passage, just like the voice had said. But what matters most is not what happens after. It's what you carry with you. Your actions, your words, your love, your regrets. They don't disappear, they stay. They become part of you. And one day, you will see them, feel them, understand them, just like I did. And that realization, it changed the way I looked at life, at people, at myself. But there was still one question, one feeling that stayed inside me, quiet but present. Why was I sent back? Why me? Why now? I didn't have the answer yet, but I knew it was coming. And when it did, everything would finally make sense. After I came back, life did not feel the same. Everything looked familiar. The same walls, the same faces, the same daily routine. But something inside me had changed, deeply, silently, in a way I could not explain to anyone. I would sit for long moments, just watching my daughter walk around the house, watching the sunlight move across the floor, watching simple things, as if I was seeing them for the first time. Maybe you have never thought about this, but when you come close to losing everything, even the smallest things begin to feel sacred. A glass of water, a quiet breath, a simple, "How are you?" All of it matters. One evening, I was sitting alone in my room. The lights were off, only a soft glow from the window. And for the first time since that day, I allowed myself to fully remember. Not just pieces, not just moments, everything. The light, the voice, the life I saw, the choice I made. And as I sat there, a feeling came back. That same presence, soft, calm, not visible, but there. I didn't feel afraid. I didn't feel confused. I just listened. And then that voice returned. Not loud, not distant, right there, inside me. You asked why you came back. My breath slowed, my heart quiet. "Yes," I whispered softly. "I don't understand." There was a gentle pause, like the voice was waiting for me to be ready. Then it spoke again. "You were shown not to escape life, but to understand it." Those words, they settled deep inside me. Not to escape life, but to understand it. I closed my eyes, and suddenly, everything became clear. Not like a sudden flash, but like a slow sunrise, soft, warm, certain. I saw my life again, but differently. Not as a list of events, but as connections. Every word I spoke, every action I took, every moment I ignored. They were not small. They were not meaningless. They were everything, because they touched others in ways I never noticed. I remembered the pain I had caused and the love I had given, and I understood something simple but powerful. This is what life is. Not success, not money, not status, but impact, feeling, connection. Tears rolled down my face, quiet, warm, not from sadness, but from clarity. "How many moments did I waste?" I whispered. "How many times did I choose anger instead of kindness?" No answer came, because I didn't need one. I already knew. And yet, there was no guilt, no punishment, only understanding, and a chance, a second chance. The voice spoke one last time. "Now you know, live differently." And just like that, the presence faded. But this time, it didn't feel like something leaving. It felt like something staying inside me. Now, I no longer fear that moment, because I have already touched it. I have already crossed that line and returned. And I know, when my time comes again, I will not resist. I will not be afraid. I will simply turn toward the light with peace, with understanding, and maybe with a quiet smile. If you are hearing my story, then remember this. Life is not as long as you think, but it is deep, very deep. And every moment is shaping something beyond what you can see. So live carefully, love fully, speak gently, because one day you will see it all again, just like I did. And when that day comes, I hope you feel peace.